What's up, guys? Today I wanted to show you how to make a coaster out of a record. This one happens to be a record that I had from childhood. So you're going to need roughly a 1/4-inch bolt and a washer on that. I'm going to slip it through the hole here, and then what we're going to do is put another washer on the back side, and then a lock washer, and then a nut. And this is the side here that we're going to be using, and that's a plastic washer on there so I don't mar the label up. Alright, so you could see the lock washer is crimped now, and what that's going to do is prevent this nut from backing off. Okay, so if you got a smaller lathe like me, you could see the bolt isn't going to line up with the chuck because we got too much record here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a heat gun and just heat this up, and we'll use some scissors to cut this down that this comes into center with that. What we're going to do is use a plain old hair dryer. We're going to heat that up just a little bit, and then we're going to use a pair of tin snips. And you can see already here I start cutting it, and I got a nice edge. Okay, so I wanted to mention I switched tin snips, and what I've been doing here with this album is heating up a little bit at a time. Now what you want to do with the tin snips is have this side here. So this is the left hand pair. As you're cutting along, you can kind of see the record on this side is getting pushed down while this side is staying and getting pushed up. Everything's cut down, and you can see the hairdryer warped it. Now you can take the hairdryer and heat this and cut it with a pair of tin snips, but you're risking warping this center part, which you don't want to do. Okay, so I had to trim a lot more off than I thought. I forgot the carriage here. The album needs to clear that. So we got it chucked up there, you could see that. Okay, so being we got flexation with the cutoff tool on the lathe, we're going to use some Lawan plywood here, and we're just going to go ahead and use a hole saw and cut that out as a backer plate. Alright, so we got the backer that we made out of the Lawan, and it's just attached the same way. And you can see that point where that cutting tool is, it's pushing right against the backing plate and keeping direct pressure. Little time consuming, but you get a perfect circle this way. You got to make sure you work the cross feed back and forth, or you're going to bind it up. Okay, so there you go. You got this ring off. You got a perfect circle. Now we'll take this apart and we'll go ahead and clean this up. Okay, so once you got the backing plate off, we're going to take a file and then we're going to true it up. Now remember, you're not going to have this true anymore to the cutoff because we took it out. The only way to do that is use a 4-jaw chuck and dial indicate it. So we just got some different grit sandpaper. This is 220. This here's 500. Here's some 1000 grit. Okay, so once you're done sanding it, that's it. You got both sides here. They're nice and smooth. Okay, so the next part, what you're going to want to do is just get some cork, or this is just foam that I got in the craft section at Walmart. You're going to lay your coaster on here, and then we're going to make a ring. Okay, so once you have the outer circle, and make sure you trace the inner circle here too, we're going to take a compass, we're going to put it right in the center, and then we're going to set the pencil mark from this line back 1/8 of an inch. Alright, so you got your two lines. Now what you're going to do is take a pair of scissors and just cut that inner line, not the outer line. So once you got that kind of centered and in a circle, we'll punch out that center. Okay, so to punch this hole out here, just take a pencil, dig the eraser out. You're going to mark it, and then you're just going to go ahead and twist. And you got a perfect hole. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to apply some contact cement to this foam piece here. Now make sure when you're doing this, you take the side that you want facing up and apply the foam to the side that you don't want. After you apply the contact cement, you'll put it over here, and then you'll put a weight or something flat to make it nice and flat, and let it dry. Okay, so make sure you do both sides, and then you're going to carefully line it up and stick it down. Put the weight on it. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do, we got to seal this. So when you put something on it, the paper ain't going to come off. So little cup, you're going to set that up top. And then over here, what we got is Amazing Clear Cast. I got this from Michael's. It's a clear coat, clear resin. Okay, so the measuring cup here, it's in milliliters, and we're going to take part A. We're going to dump that in first, and I'm going to do 15 milliliters, and then we're going to take part B, and then we're going to dump 15 milliliters in, and then we're going to mix it until no swirls are visible, and then you mix it an additional 3 minutes. Okay, so here we got part A 15 and part B 15. We're going to take this and we're just going to dump this into here. So now I used part B and dumped it into part A because part B is thinner. Okay, so that's what it looks like after the swirls and mixing it for 3 minutes. Actually, I'm just going to pour some of this on. And you want to start from the center and kind of push it outward to the edges. I'm not going to be too particular if it drips. We'll just go ahead and take a file later after it cures 24 to 48 hours, and then we'll file that up. So that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now I noticed there's some air bubbles in here, and all I'm going to do is take a lighter and just gently go over it. Okay, so there you got it. Nice and shiny. The only thing I did notice here, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but in this area right here, and I kind of think the resin reacted with the paper, and I turned it a little bit black. You could still see the words and all, but you could see it right there. I don't think the lighter did that. I think the resin actually had a reaction with the paper, so just be aware of that.